Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is another episode of your favorite podcast, Holistic Love. I am your host, your astrologer, and your matchmaker, ladies and gentlemen, Fox Red Sky. I am here in the audience, or I am in the studio today with the lovely, the amazing Ashley Cantu. Oh my goodness. And the renowned love expert here and relationship coach, Jenna Love. Can y'all say something real quick to the audience, ladies?
Well, I just want to say that I'm happy that we have my friend Jane in here, so I can't wait to see what she talks about, and we have this conversation going. Yeah.
Yes, and Jenna.
Yes, hello everybody. It's so good to be back. It's been a while since we've done a podcast, so we're really excited to see what unfolds today, and yeah, let's go.
Woohoo! So, audience, today we're really going to talk about something that my dear friend Jane here, and if you would please just introduce yourself to the audience, a little bit about yourself, what you do, what you love.
Okay, I'm Jane Santiago, Jane of all trades, master at none. I do things in real estate. I also do things in dancing. And I love to have deep talks and have great friendships with beautiful ladies. So, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And we were actually, and Ashley here introduced us at I forget what function, but it was actually one of our events. Yeah, it was one of our events that we were doing. We were doing a little bit of a matchmaking event. But Jane and I had this beautiful conversation, and I was just completely blown away. And I was thinking, no one has talked about this. And this is a subject that I think is really, really important to talk about. Whether you're at home audience listening, is that the internet might not be the truthful or honest depiction of what the general population is experiencing, and that we have this tendency to, or actually the internet has the tendency to give an audience to the loudest, most proudest opinions, and that's not what everybody's feeling and growing and thinking. And so I thought this was a beautiful thing to talk about here on Holistic Love, for many reasons, because a lot of us feel like inadequate or not worthy of love because of the internet. And it's just like, whoa, wait, this isn't the real narrative. Let's talk about that. So Jane, I would love to, in your own words, kind of describe what I'm trying to convey to the audience.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for bringing the energy and the conversation up. But yeah, I think I could best intro the topic through a story, which is that a few months ago in Texas, there was a Texas Eclipse Festival. And before we went to the festival, my guy and I, we looked it up online to see if we still want to go. And it looked horrible. Every single comment was talking about how trash it was. It's so unorganized. I want a refund. And I'm so glad I'm such an optimist. I was thinking, well, let's just go. Our friends are there. Why not try it out? It's an hour away. And we went and we had an amazing time. It would have been a huge waste if we had just trusted the internet. Mm-hmm. And I was telling him this realization that we both had, which was that, the internet is kind of a horrible place to find out the truth sometimes, because if you're having a great time in life, you're not going to stop having a great time and be like, okay, hold on, everybody. I've got to go on Reddit and tell everybody what a great time I'm having. You're too busy.
Yeah, you're having
a good time. And also, there's no data connectivity. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, so let's say, who is actually taking their time to write on the internet about what a horrible time they're having? It's like you said so well, it's not an accurate representation of the population. People who are at home. Like, I personally never write op-ed pieces on my opinions. I'm just never going to take the time to do that. I think I'm a shit writer, even though I'm a great talker. So I'm just never going to take the time to write my personal experience about being a dancer or being a cook and wanting to do personal validation experiences through dinner parties and stuff like that. I'm never going to write about it. So I think we should all take the internet with a grain of salt, and think, who's really taking the time to write this right now?
What do y'all think about what she just said, ladies?
I really think it's true, because that I do a lot of content creation. I know in the influencer world, there's a lot of influencers that are saying things and we actually talked about how they get paid to like write a review that the food is great, like maybe some food bloggers, and maybe the food is not great, but they got paid. So it's like, or just because of as they said the food is great, and you go and you see that it's not great, it's because the internet said it. Like you need to go for yourself, not because the internet says it, you know.
Yeah, I do believe that it's true that who's writing on the internet is a very like small portion of people, right? A very small percentage. I know I'm not, making reviews online about all my negative experiences because I don't want to relive them, right? Who wants to do that? So, I think it's a skewed opinion and just kind of a general opinion that needs to kind of be second guessed before we take it as truth.
Right. But a lot of times that's where people are getting their news. Like they don't want to watch traditional media anymore because it's like meant for the boomer population. And it's like, well, where do we find it? So we'll just like hop on TikTok and, well, this must be true. I mean, whatever it is. But it's like, so, I mean, as beautiful as the internet has been, a gift has been, I definitely see burnout in the dating world through the internet. I see like, here, look at this, like this version of my life that I want you to see, but maybe that person's really sad and they're not really displaying that. And then like you said, Jane, you said it so eloquently, is that the people who are actually living their lives, having a good time, experiencing the world, not just sitting at home in front of a computer, they're not sharing that. And it's just, and it's being missed. And so it's just like you said, take everything with a grain of salt. And any ladies, y'all want to contribute anything? I would love to add to that. Well, something else you said, Jane, that was really poignant, that was really, really beautiful, was about this generation that's been raised on the internet, which is the Gen Z. And my ears have been to the ground. I'm listening with the only tool I have, right, the internet. And it's like a very dark, negative perception of the Gen Z men and all kinds of things. And you were kind of conveying to me that through your own experiences that's not the case.
I love Gen Z. I agree that they're kind of entitled in a money sense. That's the one thing I will agree the internet, in my experience with Gen Z people, when I was younger, I was really happy to work for $8.50 an hour, and that's something that Gen Z is just not. But there's a lot of positive aspects to Gen Z. And I find that the internet is just wrong about them. Like, a lot of people are saying that Gen Z is not having sex. Gen Z is having sex, definitely. And I also hear a lot of shit being a lot of smack. Okay, can we bleep that out? Being talked about Gen Z men. And I think that's really unfair. I've not dated a lot of men younger than me, but I do have quite a few friends of the guys that are. And they're like little brothers to me. And they're so emotionally mature, and it is so beautiful to see. Okay. Really beautiful. Like, I have one friend, he said I could mention his name, Noah. Hi, Noah. Who
Noah?
Noah?
Is he single?
Lady. Actually, he is, and I highly recommend him. Yeah, he's like my little brother. I love him. He is so connected to his heart. He's so looking forward to being a father and a husband and trying really hard to be a great man when he grows up. And he's also so caring for the woman that he does have sex with. And he's so able to realize his animal instinct as a man to want to have sex, and at the same time consider women as real people. And I think that, I was telling you at lunch when we had this conversation, is in large due to the fact that, like, in his childhood, Hillary Clinton ran for president. Women have always been in power, like, in some form, it's not, like, super rare. And, like, the Me Too movement, like, that was for him, his high school. So I think that has had a beautiful effect. I have another guy, I went to Home Depot the other day, he's 21, and he hit on me. It made me feel so good. I love it. Young men hit on older women, we like it. Anyways, but I had coffee with him to see if he wanted to like do some work for me as a personal assistant, not for a date. And he told me about how he's been in the military, how he's bisexual, how he takes care of his mom. Like for me, Gen Z is very open-minded men who have a lot of love in their heart, and they actually feel their heart, and I love that.
I love that. It gives me hope to like, cause I have like mixed reviews of having kids, cause I'm like, oh, there's all these bad things from the world, like the TikTok, internet, but then I hear this, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Just kidding. No, but it gives me hope for the future generation, for the young kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Jenna, your thoughts on Gen Z?
So, what years are those? Those are...
They're in the 20s.
They're in their 20s. Yeah.
Early 20s.
Early 20s. Okay. I don't know too many early 20-year-olds, to be honest. I do know some teenagers, but they're in a totally different class. However, I do feel like the younger generation is more mature. Yeah. I feel like they are doing the work. I feel like they're more like emotional aware than other, like the older men, for instance. But yeah, that's just about all the information that I have currently.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No,
well, I was gonna say I do also know a few, and I feel like because there's a lot of podcasts that they can hear. Like, there's some guy friends that are like 20s that I know. They're like always learning and like healthy men that are giving advice. You know,
right?
A good thing.
Yeah, and my experience with Gen Z has also been that like these are men that are already going into therapy to try to heal their childhood wounds, and I'm like,
wow.
Damn, I'm like I'm late in the game. I'm just starting to do that, y'all guys. Like,
Never too late, Bob.
but it's like it's very powerful and it's inspiring. And so to give credit where credit is due, maybe that's also because of the internet. It's like because information can spread so fast. And I think you had said something, Ashley, that like that generation had to immediately receive consequences or get called out on the internet as soon as they did something wrong, whether they did it or not. And, that can also be very, cancel culture can be very toxic and detrimental. And some people have committed suicide, but it's like they've had to be mindful. Yeah. And it's definitely been the culture of that particular paradigm.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say real quick. But yeah, back then, as what I was talking with Fox, we didn't have phones to record anybody, so a lot of people can get away with things or stuff. And now, like, people are scared because anything in the internet, if I put a name out and all my followers sees it, like, they're all gonna go bash at him. So everyone's scared to not do the wrong thing. They're trying to be the right person.
Yeah, because they witnessed the Me Too movement, right? So they're scared of being creepy or being accused of actually like coming across in the wrong way or violating somebody or a woman in some way or another. So they seem to me to be a little bit more timid and not as forthcoming as other generations. At least that's what I'm seeing. I have a 28-year-old son. I guess he would be considered Gen Z.
Millennial.
Okay. Yeah.
Didn't get him.
Yeah, and he's taking his time with dating. He's like slowly moving into that. He's not as I guess forward as the other men would be, like the older men. But I don't know if that's just because it comes with like more confidence as they get older, or if it's just like because of the Me Too movement, they're scared.
Yeah.
I think it's good that they're scared, and I think it's good that they take their time and they don't just hit on every hot girl that they see, because usually guys like that are predators. And I'm happy to hear that there's less I'm glad that they're scared of being predators. I think that men this whole time should have been scared of being predators. I'm glad they got called out. Yeah, finally.
Yeah, but where it comes to be a problem is that you're having the men intimidated to approach the woman for the fear again of being seen as creepy, and yet the women really want the men to approach them. So there's this like disconnect there.
I think there were some statistics because it's like women, they want at least they want an alpha man. They want a man that's going to take charge. And I think, do you remember the statistic was like 83% want to be approached by a man. And then like 81% of the men are like from that generation are like not approaching women.
Right. It's something around there.
Have you heard of Matthew Hussey?
I have not. Please enlighten me.
He's like the female dating coach of the internet. Father Hussey of excuse me. And he talks about how women need game too, which I think it's cool. I think a lot of things have leveled out because he talks about how a lot of women who have not yet educated ourselves on, which I used to think too, like, oh, the guy should always come up to me. He talks about how like in classical times, however far back when women had handkerchiefs, they would drop their handkerchief, and that was the move for like, okay, you can approach me. Or like, so it's to say that the onus is actually on the woman to give an opening to a guy, and I think that's correct.
Ooh.
Like, please don't come up to me, rando guy that I don't know, but if I give you like a look and a smile, or like a, like that means like, yeah, like come, like let's talk, and I think it's got to be a two-way street for sure.
Ashley.
Yeah, I was going to say that she answered what I was going to say. Like, that I always do the look. It's like if if that girl's not looking at you or like turning away, trying to like, no, like she's not interested. Yeah. Don't come up to her. Yeah.
Our camera woman's over there in the back like, laughing.
It's happened. They still come up.
Yeah, that is... I've always been very dominant, and I've always just got, like, if there's something I want, I go get it.
Yes, Madonna was like
that. Including my husband right now. So.
Oh, you did that?
Yes,
wow.
always. I've never been one that's like meekly in the corner, like, will someone, like a little wallflower, please come say hello to me. No, I'm like, okay, that's the one. I'm getting you. Oh, no, not that one, not that one. Okay. Like,
sexy.
I don't know, but that's just
hot.
Me. That's just
sexy.
me.
You knew what you wanted and you got it.
Yeah.
But I think that's a very interesting point that you bring up. So things are just changing. The dynamic between men and women, it's like shifting. And I think that, what is it they say? Like, there's nothing new under the sun. Like everything kind of like sways as a pendulum, and it's just like some things it evolves or goes back. Yeah, that's pretty interesting point you bring up though there, Jane.
Thanks, lady. Can I tell you guys you girls a story?
Yes.
Okay, do you know who Kristen Cavallari is?
Yes.
She's a celebrity. She's very hot. She's very sexy, and she's in her upper 30s now. She was on an MTV show called Laguna Beach and the Hills. Yeah, so they've been filming her since she was 16. She was like on the first reality show ever before we knew the tricks of reality shows. So it really showed her real life. Anyways, well, she married quarterback Jay Cutler, professional American. Hottie.
So hot.
So hot. They're both so hot.
Yeah.
And they got married and they had 3 children, and then she divorced him actually. And now she's dating a 24-year-old, and the internet is going crazy. And I love it. I love them. They're both so hot.
He's hot.
You could not believe that a person like really looks like him. He's from Montana. And
he looks like a model.
He's like a good country boy, and he treats her right. And there's like a 12-year age difference. Like she's, I think 36 or 38.
She looks so young.
Well, she looks great.
Yeah,
she's
for
always.
her age.
I don't know. So I think that kind of open-mindedness is really cool. I have another friend, Lydia, who's 50 and then dating a 32-year-old. And so even though that's not Gen Z, I just think that like, I'm 31 now, and I grew up with a lot of fear that I needed to get married before I was 25. Like, I literally cried on my 25th birthday because my dream of being a young wife wasn't going to happen. But thank God I didn't get married, because I would have
married the wrong
been
person.
Divorced. I would have 100% divorced if I like married at that age. Like, I didn't come into, I'm just now thinking that I'm like 80% like formed as a human at 31.
You're absolutely right. I mean, like who you are at the age of 20 years old it just pales in comparison for the next 10 years. And it's like, you're just starting to figure it out. Not to derail us, like, but from an astrological perspective, like we have our Saturn return when we're 29 years old. So, and all, so like that we don't even get our full realization of like what we've come here to do until like 29 to 32. Sorry, I always have to
I love it.
put a little astrology wisdom in there.
I was gonna say when I was like 19, like my culture, like everyone like is like, oh, I also by 25 house, like my parents did it, but they're not together for a reason, right? And like my mom was actually very disappointed when she found out that I didn't wait till I got married, and I was like, if I married the first person, I would kind of be like her, you know.
Right.
So it's like and then later, because my dad will always call me, always tell me like, are you married? Have you gotten married? Like, and like that pressure joking, but and I was like, Dad, I was just so young to even know what I want. So I'm so glad that I never got married, because how you said, we're barely forming right now.
Yeah.
Like, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that it says know thyself. Know thyself. So audience, when you learn to know thyself and love thyself, and you really, really can discern what you truly desire in this life, then the universe will answer with the perfect person of that stage of your development. And what do you think about that statement, Jenna?
Yeah. So, we attract basically like what we already are, right? So, if we don't know ourselves, then how are we going to know what it is that we want, what our needs are, what our desires are? So knowing ourselves is a huge, huge piece actually in stepping into partnership, because we want to be able to express our needs, our desires. And sometimes partnership can help us get even more clear on our needs and desires. But if we can be aware of all that before we step in, then it's just going to be that much easier for us. Right. Yeah.
And then when we're in our 20s, we just barely got out of puberty. We're still just babies. Like, like mentally and emotionally, we're just like, our brains don't even finish forming until like 23 or 22 or something. So like, no hate, like, but I'm just saying, like, that's just the way it is. So it's like, we're still this flower that's opening up slowly. And why are we trying to rush it and pluck it and put it in the ground and put it in a pot? So I think y'all ladies bring up a really beautiful point. Oh my goodness, this has been so awesome.
I forgot. It's because I wanted to. Sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say. But the resources. Yeah, it's because you said that about your age, that you're barely getting therapy. Is because back then you didn't have those resources. Like my brother told me when I did ayahuasca, it's like, Ashley, I'm so proud of you. You have the resources to do it at such a young age, because our parents didn't, and like you guys didn't have that a lot of resources.
Yeah, and maybe that's why Gen Z is kind of like they're so resourced in terms of knowledge than we ever were. And so it's a double-edged sword, ladies and gentlemen. Like, the internet is both good and bad, but that's everything in life. So wow.
And one last thing.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that I also like, even though now I'm like 30, but my last relationship, like at first, like when they break up with you, like you feel heartbroken, why, and all these questions, you beat yourself up. But I was very glad, like later on, why I was like, he needed to leave me so I can look inward, because I never did the work. I always was depending on relationships, and now I was able to look inward, and I was like, thank you, I actually needed that. Like now it makes sense.
That's a really good question you bring up too, is like, do we use relationships sometimes as a form of distracting us from our work that we've got to do?
Oh yeah,
that speaks to codependency. Another episode.
Next time.
Yeah.
Oh, ladies, wow. I just want to say to you, audience, and those of you who are listening, I am surrounded by some queens up here in this studio. I am so lucky to have just like the most beautiful people inside and out that just have like such an amazing perspective, such just willingness to just be vulnerable for all. And so thank you so much for tuning in, for listening. And Gen Z, wherever you are, we're sending you love out there. I might not understand all the things you're saying, but slay, ladies, slay, gentlemen. Would y'all like to add any final last words?
Yeah, it's just To all the Gen Zers out there, we love you. We see the work that you're doing, and we're just so proud of this next generation that's coming forth. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, I want to say inner work is hot, inner work is sexy. Inner work is sexier than six-pack or a 7-figure bank account.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I want to say I'm proud of the Gen Zs. It makes me happy that this generation is coming up and hopeful for the world to become better. So
yeah, and don't believe everything on the internet.
Yes.
I mean, I know that's such a thing that we all know. Like, we know that there's deep fakes. We know that everyone pretends to have this life that they may or may not have. But it's like, sometimes it's so not hard, like, to believe that this is what everybody's feeling and thinking, because the loudest person and the most obnoxious person gets to have the mic.
Right.
But it's
squeaky wheel gets the attention.
Yeah, but it's not true, ladies and gentlemen. So wherever you are, I just want to say to you that wherever you are in your journey of life and love, know that you are so worthy of love, and that it starts with you. So like I said, there's always tools and resources, which we'll always include in links below. We have, if you're looking for some amazing coaching, we have these two amazing ladies right here, Ashley Cantu and Jenna Love. And there's just resources. The internet, like I said, is a valuable tool. And so the knowledge is there, ladies and gentlemen, to be shared and to level up your life, and to level up and be exactly who you want to be at this moment in time. Thank you so much. I'm sending you all the love.
Yes, so much love. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love you guys. That's it.
Oh.